mayhem show thing. What is my awesome thing? There's the good music right there.
You're not on Facebook yet, are you? Oh, there you are.
Producer listens to the Go to live microphone. Hello, everybody. Are you ready to podcast? There's my camera. There's Amanda.
Hi.
Did I move?
No, I just didn't really have you settled in.
Okay.
And there he is, blending in. He wore his couch camouflage today.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
Look at that.
I got to tell you, it's funny. I went to grab a shirt and I looked at the one shirt and I went, hold on. And I opened up the YouTube app and scrolled back. And I was like, oh, yep, that was the one I wore last time.
You know what? It's so strange. Yeah, but we're going to do this extra. It's so strange because most people just love how comfortable things are in here and love how comfortable we make it when we're on remote. Like I got a comment about that last week when we were doing some on locations for a client. And then I get a couple of people that are just like, I cannot do this in this couch. Like, I cannot sit in your couch.
Oh.
Like, it's few and far between. And sometimes it's not even a video thing. You know, it's just like, I cannot do this show sitting in this couch. It's like, all right. All right. Hello, everybody. Well, looking at the people in the chat room, the wrestling show's at 9. Sorry. But we're going to talk about video games and stuff, I promise.
Tech.
And Apple and a lot of video games and stuff, and more stuff. So here we go. Are you guys ready? Has everybody finished their pizza? I know we were like last minuting a little bit.
I feel like I have pizza all over my face.
Perfect. You know what? We're only broadcasting at 7:20. So so we don't, you know, that helps a little bit. Yeah, only like half HD. Only half a K. Okay. Wait, or is it like a
whoa? There's
like
2Ks.
2/3
Crazy
a K?
Kraus.
That's what.
There's 2Ks.
2Ks. 3. Thankfully, if we had one more K, we'd have a problem. So that's why Katie can't be on with you, because then it's like, oh no.
That's that like crossing streams.
That is less than AwesomeCast. Yes. All right. Somebody gonna get punched.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those kinds of night. One of those kinds of night. Damn it. My grammar has been bad lately, I've noticed. Do you get to a certain age and you just don't give a shit about grammar, you think?
You should try to write it every day. I can't read grammar half the time.
No. No, I'll wake up in the morning about something I put out on Instagram the night before, or there's a TikTok I screwed up last week, and about 9:30 in the morning, my wife's messaging me like,
TikToks?
I've been starting this. I'm going to figure this out.
That on the show. I watched.
Have you seen my TikToks?
No.
There's a lot of wrestling. Well, listen,
okay.
I'm already making GIFs.
Okay.
So anytime I got somebody dancing in the ring, that's getting put to music, and we're putting that thing on TikTok. That's what we're doing.
Okay.
Okay, first strategy.
That's snappy.
It makes sense. What?
I like that.
That's
like
snappy,
that snappy,
right? Wait, is this? Wait. Is that a millennial phrase?
Yeah,
What's
that's a new
happening?
lingo for Amanda. I'm coining it. Start
okay.
it now.
Okay.
Bam.
So we do that, and then like I had a clip of a guy doing a dive through the top 2 ropes at a guy outside the barrier in the chairs up in Erie. So I put it to Sugar Ray's I Want to Fly.
That's funny.
And then I got one where this guy was getting checked by the referee, and he literally pulled out a bag of nuts. So I'm like, okay, I gotta be able to find some music in TikTok, right? And it's like it was somebody like singing and like on a guitar saying, "Do you want a taste of these nuts?" It's right as I zoom in on it.
Okay.
That did well. I mean, we're getting like 300 views on them, so I guess that's something.
Yeah, there you go.
For somebody that has 5 followers. So That's my experiment so far. I'm going to figure this out.
See,
I'm going to figure this out. It makes more sense
I'm
than
an old man
Snapchat to me.
Krause, I guess, 'cause I don't understand. I watch.
I watch.
I scroll. Like, you know.
I have not figured out how to work it into bold yet, if you want me to be honest with you. And I'm going to do it the next restaurant I do.
Okay.
Because I think that should be it. But I don't know if I could take old footage and put it in there, or else I'm just going to try to start editing food videos with it and try to make it interesting.
I think it's a matter of editing food videos with a certain a certain angle, and it starts there. And I think it's just like when we made. Who was I making videos on Instagram, I think, and then we would just roll those out to everywhere else because they still worked everywhere else. Because I'm putting that video up on like Twitter, and it does great on Twitter, like the nuts video, I guess. So if it's a different work environment that makes you create a different kind of video, that doesn't mean it's just for TikTok. It can still go other places.
That is true,
no, that's
because it can go everywhere
because you
else.
download the
It can go everywhere
video,
else.
and then I stick it in Instagram, square it up because I'm already using 16:9 videos, which is probably a big no on TikTok, unless you do a lot of fun stuff around it, right? So there's that. That's my week in TikTok
Nice.
so far. I'm Sorgatron there, like I am everywhere. Krause, you're getting a hello from Michael. Great house
Oh, okay. Hi, Mike.
out there. He's tuned in. We have not officially started the show. This is just some pre-show stuff right now, but we should start the show because it is probably 10 after. So, anybody got a heart out?
No.
And screw it. We'll do the show, and if the wrestlers roll in here, we'll just ask them technology questions.
Ooh,
Like, hi.
that would be fun.
All right. That's there. Get our audio record. We're out there. Hello, world. Hello, world. Hi. All right. Let me get some Twitch action going on here.
The show.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Have I met Mike?
He's a security guy.
Oh.
Yes. Big Bank International Esquire also.
Can we just get them to sponsor the show?
Wouldn't that be nice?
Wait,
Yeah.
can we talk to somebody up in Big Bank Corporate and see what we can have happen? Be like, honestly, we should pitch them to do their own internal podcast on technology.
Yeah.
Somebody recently said this idea. It was like, take this idea. You, Amanda, you can probably guess who that was because I think you have interactions with him too, friend of the show. And it was like, go to these companies in town and do like a internal podcast thing. I was like, well, I haven't gone around to it yet.
I think two people. I think of two people's names when you say something like that. Right off the top of my head.
We'll compare notes later.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna start the show for real.
Okay.
For real. Reals.
For reals.
Did you see what Dave Ponder said? That was pretty cool.
Oh, I saw a dance break. Oh, that's not appropriate in mixed company. Hard out. Yes.
But I'm bummed.
Ba-da-bum. Jeez.
How quickly can we make this sound like a Muppet show?
Meow, meow. Pull a little closer, please.
I keep coughing.
Oh, okay. Oh, that was the adjustment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll both
The
be.
cold air
Okay.
outside.
Yeah, no, hey, cool.
Coming
cool.
from downtown.
Hey guys, it's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast episode 483. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studio here in the wonderful and wet Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I don't know what the hell season it is, but I literally started spring cleaning my house yesterday. But we are here ready to talk tech, and we got a crew with us. Not the usual crew. They're busy doing other things. Producer Missy is off talking about podcasts on a panel somewhere, but we got back with us. It's cool because we got another Professor Fancy Pants Tech Pants, Crazy Krause, Ron Krause. I told you I was going to give you a new name, a Big
Fancy
Bank
Pants.
International Esquire.
Yeah, thanks. Sure. Great. Wonderful.
Crazy cool.
Welcome back with your.
Does that make me part of the B team?
the B team?
Yeah, you know, you got the A team. They're not here, so you called in the B team. You know,
we're auditioning for an A team.
Yeah.
I don't know, but no, thank you for being back on the show with your Apple phone.
Yeah,
we'll talk
and
about
iPad.
that. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. It's been more than 30 days. Also, back with us. Speaking of Apple, Miss Apple herself of the AwesomeCast.
Hey,
Everybody
can't
gets
represent.
everybody gets a new name tonight. Amanda Narcissi is with us with Bold Pittsburgh.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome back. This is the perfect night to get. I'm like, it was okay when he crossed back after his experiment. And it was like we got to get these kids back together for this edition of the show. So, but we'll talk about that in a minute here. Of course, check out everything at AwesomeCast.com. Where you can find past episodes, old interviews that we've done. Some people that are worth a lot more money than they used to when they were in our basement. So let's look at that list. And you can also subscribe to the podcast there and on your favorite podcast app. Look for the AwesomeCast. Pittsburgh Tech News usually helps with that because there's a couple other ones that everybody wants to do an AwesomeCast every other month, it seems. And we've outlasted them all. So I hope that counts for something. Email us at awesomecast at sorgatronmedia.com or probably just hit me up at mike@sorgatronmedia.com because I need to double check if that works. Tweet us at AwesomeCast. Facebook us, AwesomeCast on there, and we have a great Facebook group for the AwesomeCast where a lot of the stories come through. Kraus was talking about how I don't need to add stories. You have 100 in here. I've been sharing a lot this week. So that's how that happens. It actually comes directly from that, and a lot of times we have conversations on there in advance as well. And subscribe us on the Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. You can also join us here live every Tuesday on the AwesomeCast Facebook page and on plenty of other streaming platforms, but we do watch the Facebook live chat as the most closely. See, I don't give a care about. The closer I get to 40, the more I don't care about grammar. Where you can join us here, just like Dave Ponder is hanging out in there, Michael Greathouse is hanging out in the chat room, and plenty more throughout the evening. And I haven't seen my mom yet in there. You can also, if you're catching us later on one of those other platforms, tweet out AwesomeCast with hashtag AC483 to continue the conversation. And also, thank you to our audio partners, our friends at the405media.com that stream us every weekday at noon Eastern time, and our friends at Post Industrial Audio. Been doing a lot of fun stuff with them in this past week out of AwesomeCast that you guys are going to be able to hear very soon. But they are letting the world know, or at least Pittsburgh know, about some great Pittsburgh podcasts, including this one. So thank you to them for being great partners to the show, both of those sites there. Thank you to our other wonderful partners at patreon.com/awesomecast. Our friends supporting the show because they dig what's going on. At least I hope that's the reason. Maybe it's all a practical joke. Maybe somebody lost a bet. I don't know. All I know is that in the coffee club is Matt Weller and John Diggy DeGore and John Carmen. And at the fan of the show level is Katie's favorite Fedor, Michael Fedor, and the PGHmuseums.org, who've been doing some great stuff over there and some good interviews too. So please go check those guys out. You guys can support the show too at patreon.com/awesomecast, where you'll find out this week, if you didn't catch the show live, my week's experiment with TikTok. So I think last week I explained TikTok to Marta actually.
Yeah, you did.
So there was that. So we're having some fun over there, and there might be a new segment returning. I don't know if it will be on the Patreon. Well, it will be on the Patreon for everybody probably, but we were talking about that a little bit in the Slack. Anybody remember Awesome Tips?
Yeah,
we haven't done them since Iron Man Chilla took off on the green screen. So we're getting them back from space to do some more tips, perhaps. So we're talking about doing that.
I wonder how much authorization and clearance I have to get for that.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Did we just cause a problem? Oh no! Sorry about that.
No, I might want to come do one. That's why I said that.
Oh,
I would love to come do one or two, but I'd need some
if somebody
clearance.
else wants to sponsor the show, we're up for that too. Anyways, it's time for our awesome thing of the week, and Amanda has two of them.
I'm sorry.
No.
Overachiever today.
Thank you. I need a minute. I need a minute to
Oh,
breathe.
so that
first
means
of
I go
all,
first.
Yes.
Oh,
Kraus doesn't even have anything in here yet.
no.
I was wondering why the doc was blank.
Scroll down.
Like,
That's where everything else is. Anyways, you got one, including one toy I actually did download today.
Oh, yeah. The new Vimeo creator app.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness. I actually downloaded it myself. So I create a lot of Instagram stories. Like probably every other day I have a story.
You with Bold Pittsburgh?
Goodness.
Pittsburgh on the Instagram?
I just did one tonight. So I mean, goodness.
Like on the way here.
Literally at the event I was at, it was so funny. Like, city council's up there talking and I'm over there like Instagramming. Like,
that's right.
That's what I'm supposed to do.
You did a Visit Pittsburgh event and hopped on the train back to the studio to do the show.
Yes.
I love our location.
Yes, I do love this location just for that fact that I was like downtown and back within and being able to cover an event right in the middle of it all. Anyways, so I use a lot of tools because I don't want to just be the boring Instagram to where take the video, add a few hashtags, this, that. So sometimes I do good creative. I use typically Adobe Spark because what I like is that you could get different sizes for everything. So it doesn't just have to be like an Instagram story. You can resize it to the square. You can resize it to
So you're
Facebook
talking about
post.
Spark Video?
It's called Spark Post.
Okay.
And then there's Spark Video.
Yes. Okay.
They're the same thing, but one does still and the
Yes.
other one does video.
I've done still, and I also noticed, sorry to take away from your thing a little bit, but I noticed that there is movable things in there now. If you look at
You can animate it.
on Mayhem Show, when we did the Mayhem Mania season with the pointing at the sign that I made, you see the text roll in and everything. So that was kind of a cool Instagram extra. Anyways.
Yeah, I like that. But now Vimeo has joined this. So I guess they bought a company about a year ago.
They bought a lot of companies.
Which is cool. I used to be a hardcore Vimeo person. My old video blog was on Vimeo. I didn't touch YouTube with it for years. So I was way into Vimeo for a long time. And this creator app is great. It literally, when I fired it up today, there was a bunch of templates. You could plug in your own videos, but you could also just use their stock video work to just add your own stuff to it.
It feels very Adobe Spark, actually.
Very, very close to it.
And there's a web version.
Oh, see, I didn't even dive into that part. And I do, like I said, I use Adobe Spark, Adobe Video. I use Canvas. All these are kind of the same. Unfold. They all do the same thing, just all a little bit differently. But this one, I haven't dove into it yet, but what I like is the stock video footage because sometimes I don't have anything.
Yeah.
But I need to make sure I continuously post. But it was a slow week. For example, I'm just coming off my slow period where 2 months, barely any stories, but I had to still create content. This was great. This would have been great because I could have just grabbed some stock video of food, talked about the 10 best cheeseburgers in Pittsburgh, and threw it up in an Instagram story. And it would have been great. So I'm going to dive a little bit more into this in the next few weeks. And then I noticed somebody today when I put it up in the chat said there was another one that was released today. So there was two of them released.
Both from Vimeo?
No, one from Vimeo and one was another one from a Memento.
Okay.
The company Memento, which makes lenses for iPhones.
Okay.
They actually made an app now where you could do vintage filters right on the video and everything. I need to go back and look it up which one it was because it was great. But and I should have been more prepared for it. But there's a lot of new videos for this. There's going to be more, I think. With the emerging of TikTok, Instagramming, and everybody's in a video now.
Well, yeah, and it feels like it does feel like they Adobe's had their take. And everybody, even your Filmix and your things like that, where they're hey, download this app, pay $2, get all these filters and stuff. Now your Adobe and your Vimeos are getting involved, right? It's kind of just build up to the big companies are getting behind it.
Right. Plus, I feel like Adobe's over cost is getting to be too much for creators.
Yeah.
So the $50 a month is kind of like a
That's a big bill.
Is that what you need to do the Spark stuff? Now we have that for other stuff.
If you want to unlock the backup system of it.
But what if I
have
pay
the cloud?
Right. But what if I
For.
pay like $10 for Rush or something? Like I think there's a plan for that, or photographers or something like that, right?
I really didn't dive into why the apps have a cost can be bundled in. I think it's more the cloud sharing
Yeah.
being part of it. Because
Yeah.
if I have Adobe Spark on my iPad and on my phone, when I create it here, it automatically goes there.
But then there's like premium templates and everything.
But I
like
mean,
that.
I pay the highest because I'm in InDesign, I'm in Illustrator, I'm in everything.
So I wanted to bring up so the other one that was brought up here.
Oh, that's it.
9 to 5 Mac had this, and Podner actually posted it. It was a video up. He saw a story about it. It was Moment launches retro RTRO video app, vintage vibes, and easy social media sharing. But this is what I'm talking about.
They're
like,
the lens people, right?
These are the lens
Yeah.
people?
Yeah.
Okay, but this is like kind of more of a niche company doing this
Right.
versus you have your Adobes and your Vimeos building it in to their services. Like the Vimeo thing, I think mostly works if you have the premium account, which we happen to have. We were actually using Vimeo Premium as a base for what we stream here on Tuesdays, amongst other projects. So, like, it's kind of a, hey, nice, I get something else for all that money I pay for that, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Plus,
So,
that retro one looks more like it's just focused on the retro look,
Right,
which is
right.
in right now with everybody wanting to
Oh,
look
yeah.
like they're from the 90s and
Oh,
20s
yeah.
and everything
What-
else. It's, hi, we have this new technology, but let's make it look like we filmed on a VHS tape.
everybody going back to the 90s. I was trying to get my ass out of the 90s.
Well, that was Stranger Things, right? Stranger Things kind of started that
the
trend.
80s, yeah.
Yeah. But
So-
I think that's funny. I'm like, we have all this new technology, but yet it looks like we filmed it on a beta.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
it,
had
it,
eight
days with
Super
video
8.
games too. I got this nice iPhone, and you know what I love playing on it? Sonic CD, Sonic the Hedgehog. But you know, it's part of it, right? Kraus, do you have an awesome thing?
Yeah, my phone.
There's what's going on with you. There's this whole thing.
So, well, as you know, I came in here over a month ago now and said that I decided to make the leap and live on the other side of the world. Thanks to
other side of
thanks to Big Bank
China?
International, I have the ability to take my SIM and put it in this device and live on the other side for a while. And I wanted to hate it, and I told you that before. I wanted to hate it, but I don't hate it. And there are little annoyances that make me wonder why they do why Apple does what they do. But there is way more benefits than there are. And I know I Mike Greathouse is going to give me a hard time, but seriously, I can't find a reason. Well, I know I have a reason to go back. I have to do some testing on Android, so I will be going back to the S10 here in the next probably couple days. But seriously, the way they integrate together, the way that when I get my text messages, they come on the iPad. It's just that seamless. Like I said, the browsers make me a little crazy. I was doing some testing with the new Microsoft released a new Edge browser, which I really don't have any complaints about. But the way Apple does their browser, I can't set Edge to the default. So anytime I get an email or something and it prompts me to open, I click a link to open it, it's always going back to Safari. So that drives me crazy a little bit. Like, I can't set those things.
I got a new title for you, by the way, over here.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Ron Kraus converted to Apple.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't know if I'm converted, but again, I don't. Like I said, I don't have any reasons. I wanted to have many reasons to hate it, and I don't. So there you go. I don't know if that makes me an Apple convert.
That's the official rule. That's the official tagline. Apple phones. I don't actually.
I don't hate them. No, and I wanted to hate it. Because I've been an Android guy for a long time. I was a Windows guy before that. Windows Phone was my first love. I loved the Windows Phone. So I don't. That's about it.
Amanda, do you have any questions for the convert over here?
How do you feel about the security end of it?
Oh, I have no problems whatsoever. The face unlock is great. But then again, the Samsung does the same thing.
Right.
It works in a similar fashion. Now I do have more experience with the Pixel with the fingerprint on the back. So that doesn't do the face unlock. It's a couple years old. It's a couple generations behind that way. But for the it's great.
And did you get to play with the camera a lot?
Oh yeah. But see again.
And again, it's an iPhone
the
11.
Pixel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, it's the iPhone 11, not the 11 Pro.
Mm-hmm.
But the Pixel camera, I've been in a world where the camera's been great for a really long time.
Right.
So
We have that talk a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. That some of us just buy the Pixels to keep as cameras.
right. And quite honestly,
and don't
I
use them
didn't
as
buy
phones,
the Pixel 4 because there were a lot of the camera is fabulous, but there were lots of other reasons not to get it.
Right.
So hopefully we'll see what happens with the 5.
Mm-hmm.
Although I don't know if I'm buying it. I got to be honest. I don't right now. If I had to go out and buy a phone, I do not know what I would purchase.
Which is rough because the new Samsung is out and.
I don't
Along
think
with
I
the
would buy that
Razr
phone. I have many reasons for that. One of
What, the
which
Z
is
Flip
they're
or-
telling you it's a 5G device,
No, the 20.
and it's
okay.
the 20, and
Yeah,
it's
the 20.
not a true 5G device.
Yeah, there are no true 5Gs yet because
The Pro
carriers aren't ready.
version will be a true 5G device because it will have both radios in it.
Mm-hmm.
The 20 and the 20S only have the 600 radio in them. They don't have the milli whatever radio in them. So it is not while it will access the 5G band, it is not a true 5G phone.
Which the carriers are nowhere near even ready. for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're nowhere near ready.
No.
I don't even think they're going to be ready by the fall, the way they're
No.
acting up
That's
right
why
now.
I'm not even sweating the 5G. My LTE's
Right.
plenty. Like I am,
Yep.
like as a traveler.
Not to mention, what is the cost of a 5G plan going to be?
Mm-hmm.
If we remember what happened when we went from 3G to 4 to LTE and the plan changes, what are those plan changes going to be like to go to?
And all the heartache that people are going through right now, where service is dropping
Oh,
in
yeah.
areas and people's phones are cutting out. And I mean, you could be standing in downtown Pittsburgh with one bar because of all of this. And and a lot of feedback is like, it's not worth it right now. Like, what are they doing?
And don't forget, with 5G, they have to install all those
Yeah.
micro towers. So to get complete coverage, like downtown Pittsburgh, yes. In the next 6 months, if you had one of these phones, you might be able to walk into downtown Pittsburgh and see a 5G symbol.
Good for you.
But
If
how
you-
far outside of that
Right.
little triangle
Yeah.
will you still see that
And
5G?
then you just have the same phone you had before.
Exactly. And then you still have the same phone you had before. Yep. That's perfectly. Yep.
Do you feel better about your backup being Apple versus being Google? Because that's what got me to leave Android. I never tell that story.
Really?
I left Android when Google Circles came out because Google Circles published every photograph from my phone without my authorization.
Oh.
I had about 10 people in my Google Circles, and one of them contacted me and they said, "Did you know all of your photographs from your phone are on there?" And I was like, "What?"
Wow.
And it turned out it was something within the first few weeks Google Circles was open.
Yeah. I remember that.
And they released everybody who had an Android's photograph and was backing up to Google into their circles.
And it's not done because they
Without
just came out
authorization.
a few months ago. They would somebody's like videos or photos were being downloaded in somebody else's download.
Right.
Oh, like their what do they call the exit from there? Takeout.
Yes.
Their takeout downloads of their photos. And like it was mixing up the accounts. It's like, what are we doing, Google?
Right.
Like
And
you should be good at this.
And that's why I left Android. That's actually the thing that I just finally said. I don't trust Google to have my stuff on my phone because that's private. They were pictures of my kids. There was pictures of food and stuff, of course. But like there's pictures of my kids as babies. And I am very overprotective of their digital footprint.
Well, of course. You
Yeah.
should be.
And for them to just release that without my authorization at the time, and we're talking this is 8, 9, 10 years ago.
This is the
but
beginning
still,
of Google Plus, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's still that's.
But you still hear these stories, and it's not any different. You do not hear that as much. The things that you hear about Apple, like somebody went through some shit to get to that stuff.
And I do hear stories every day, but it's still it's still few and far between.
Yeah.
It's not like that.
I mean, in anecdotal, but the anecdotal still counts for something.
Right.
To make you feel like you're on the right platform.
That's what that was my biggest with the security is how does people feel about Google backup versus
Interesting.
iCloud backup, which has no other access points other than your sign-in.
Well, I have a less threatening awesome thing of the week.
Okay.
Wow.
I was like, I got us very serious there for a minute.
Bring it back around. So we watched The Mandalorian in here. Everybody, you have.
Yeah.
I'm not done.
But you've seen
I'm
enough.
very close.
I don't think anything in this article is going to spoil too much. So there was a special. Engadget posted this, and actually it was Industrial Light and Magic did the video. But there's an article over on Engadget where they talked about, so how did they do those wonderful sets? And I think I heard something about how all the sets were digital or something like that. The Mandalorian used Unreal Engine for its real-time digital sets. And it's more than that. It's not just a green screen. It's not a green screen at all. So instead of that typical, we're going to shoot in front of this thing and then we have to post and change all the color and everything like that, what they actually did, if I can skip over in the video so you guys can see this, because you got to see the visual of this thing. They are in a round room, and the entire room, except for one opening, is a screen. So when you look and you see a picture of a ship here, you see the backgrounds when it's in the hangar on that one ship in that one episode. You see the ceiling there, and you see the rocks in the background on that one planet, on the desert planet. So they're able to shoot and move that on the fly, reform mountains in Unreal Engine on a tablet. And shoot natural in-camera effects. Wow. Build sets close. Put the background of everything in the background. Change mountains, things like that. And the set can move with them. So when they're doing vehicles, like sitting on a vehicle, background whooshing by, it's gives more of a realistic, natural lighting effect to everything. It is fantastic. And they just had these. They built the sets into them. I don't think they left the studio for that entire series, which is amazing if that's true, because
that is very amazing. Because
that show feels very outside.
Yes, it
right?
does.
Here's a shot. Here's a shot with some of the foreground rocks and everything. Hopefully it's not too much and here it separates out how much is the virtual. It's an LED screen in the background.
Okay.
And then you see there's physical sets in front of it, but the background,
but the whole backdrop,
going down the hall,
yeah,
that is a video. It is a 360 room, more or less.
That's still somebody created on a computer, but they projected it on this ginormous screen.
It's just on the screen. Yeah.
So that had to cut production cost greatly.
You only have to build so much.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest is computer generated, which was some person stressed out, probably with a lot of coffee and cigarettes, sitting there in front of a computer.
Imagine the shot list planning.
Right.
Okay, this background needs to have this.
Typically,
I'd like to see the blooper reel.
But typically, you would shoot it and then put in the background.
It added in
so
later.
So now you're doing that. I don't like that rock over there. Move it here. And you pull it out, and they show them reforming the rock and everything. This is freaking cool. And of course, it's industrial light magic.
It probably gives the director a whole lot more.
Oh yeah, you literally have a let's fix the set design right now. I don't like how this looks, because you're literally looking in the camera now and seeing how it looks.
Right.
Versus imagining that thing on a pole over here is the thing everybody's looking at. We can put that on a screen. Right.
I also like that the story's coming out now when they don't have anything else to talk about with The Mandalorian except for Baby Yoda.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the baby. The baby, it made a hit at the Toy Fair in New York City last weekend.
Of course.
And Build-A-Bear is all gearing up for the baby to be released.
That's gonna wreck Build-A-Bear.
Yeah.
You ever see a line in front of Build-A-Bear? You will.
You will.
You will. It's just down from the Apple Store in our mall. So, yeah. Well, from that, hey, I want to give a shout out to something else awesome. Our good friends down the road here in Beachview at Slice on Broadway. They help feed us, so we were munching. We were trying to. We were halting a little bit because we need to finish munching our pizza. So we're good and energized up to do our podcast to bring the awesomeness to you every week. 4 locations in the Pittsburgh area: Beachview, Carnegie, East End, and PNC Park. Though supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza, with the majority of our 10 years as the AwesomeCast. Jeez, 10 years. I'm a long relationship kind of a guy with projects. So thank you to them. Check them out, sliceonbroadway.com. All right, let's see what we got here. You guys have been putting some stories over there on the AwesomeCast Facebook group. Of course, hey, just had brunch with my buddy Chachi the other day and asking how the GameJourney.com is going for him. He is still going with it. He is deep into the Nintendo, the mobile, Nintendo DS, things like that. He's on Advance Wars, Game Boy Advance stuff, Mario Kart DS. Wait, Brain Age, the brain training game, is in this list for 1,000 games to play before you die. I guess it's technically a game, but why is it like Barbie Horse Adventures isn't a part of this? I think
I'd want to see that.
You want to see that?
I want to.
We should just throw a Twitch stream of.
Yes.
Did I talk about how he just started Twitch streaming him playing and writing the games? But he doesn't like show you what he's writing or show you what he's playing. It's just him sitting there, and people are watching it.
So the camera's at the wrong angle.
Yeah, it's not like the exposed angle. At least like the little bit I've seen of it, and I'm just like, all right, if it works,
cool.
So, anyways, let's see what else we got here. Producer Missy actually put in this section since she's not here, since she's busy. Part of the Misfits panel tonight. The Tale of Two Cities. So there's a new nonprofit that's looking to grow the San Francisco pipeline to and Silicon Valley. Oh no, I have to register on Post Gazette to Pittsburgh, and I can't read the rest of the article because I'm not logged in. So, thanks, Post Gazette. Well, we won't talk about that one, but no, I mean that's part of it. I know a lot of people that do like clients in New York from Pittsburgh and things like that. So, but let's see what else we got here. Potter through Apple weighs in on users. This is kind of a rumor side, I think, a little bit, but Apple's weighing in on letting users switch default phone apps to rivals. I think that headline's a little loaded, but we're talking about like.
I didn't understand it.
I think we're talking about like changing your browser, changing your email app. Like I want the default to be Gmail, which most apps
people do that already.
Well, you can do that with some apps.
People do that already.
Well, the browser is an issue, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can take off the browser, and you can take off. Like you have to literally delete the app and put the other app on it.
Okay,
but
I can do that with Safari.
I haven't tried to erase Safari lately.
So the problem I see is even though
the mail app happens all the time.
I've set Chrome as a default, and it's if I'm in other apps that like, hey, open this in a browser, it goes to Safari.
Yep.
Right.
That's the behavior.
Right.
I've seen
it's not. I mean, it doesn't bother me too much, but it's still like I kind of want it just to be Chrome, so I have all that history in one place.
The mail app, definitely, we do that all the time. We take it off the native mail app and put on Gmail, Yahoo. I didn't use it for the longest time. I used Chuck instead. I used a third-party mail app. I've used a couple third-party mail apps instead of the native one on iPhone. So the mail app, it's no, like I don't know about a rival one. Like they're all quirky in their own way. It's just an aggregator, really. But I use like Chuck and stuff. Yeah, but I guess you can't take Safari off.
Yeah, you can't take Safari off.
I guess I never really tried.
And again, as this article is talking about, as you click through things, like if you just like, I have unless it's like a Google Gmail thing, they can push you to go to another Google thing.
Right. Yes. Because if you're in Docs,
yes.
If you're in Google Docs, it will actually prompt and say, "Hey, do you want to open this link in Chrome or do you want to open this link in Safari?
Right.
Yeah.
But it won't give you the option to open
In
it
anything.
in another browser.
Right.
So we'll see. It looks like kind of more pontification than anything. There was no comment from Apple or anything. This is a Bloomberg article, by the way. So
There's a lot of
it
security
feels
there.
kind of linked. It feels kind of linked, baity. Let's see. Ponder also shares it's official. No refund for the Mobile World Conference exhibitors. That just killed a conference.
Is that?
I think.
Did they cancel that conference due to
The coronavirus?
The
yes.
coronavirus, because they canceled about 4 tech conferences over that now.
Yes.
Overseas.
Including I think a game developer conference. I don't know.
Right.
Is it canceled? Yeah, I know a lot of big ones pulled out.
So
of
they're
that.
not refunding the vendor money?
Yes.
Ouch.
Why? Were they still at fault for the venue?
I don't know. Like they may not have the money because of the venue and everything too. So
Like, that's what my real question is. If they would have not been able, like, contractually, what does the contract say that the vendor signed?
there's
But
probably some kind of that's like act of God at that point. So they probably protect themselves from that. So,
yes.
but still, I mean, that kind of I keep saying, this really hurts the smaller vendors that need to be in a room with important people to get their stuff out there than anybody else. I don't think they're coming back next year. So, I mean, hey, we'll see what happens with all this. But
You don't think Mobile World Congress will be back next year?
will they? Well, hey, let's see how everybody does after they just announced all their phones today.
Yeah, that's true.
If people don't go to this thing and spend all this money on this, and they don't see a hit, your Sonys, your Samsungs,
you're
your
right.
big ones, if they're not coming back, I mean,
it's over.
it
You're
might
right.
still be there, but it's
Yeah.
We need to be honest for about 5 seconds and just realize how much the tech world is in trouble due to this. Like, stocks are plummeting, plants are
Yes.
closing.
Yes.
It's just, it's like a tech thing.
Oh,
like,
it's a big
gonna
tech
suffer.
thing.
It's gonna suffer. It's slowly rolling downhill, and it's gonna pick up momentum real
So
quick.
now it's going to be interesting to see, other than the other, factors going into that, this is a worldwide pandemic virus that's happening.
Right.
Like, now the companies have to be smarter about things, right? Multi-sourcing from countries, et cetera. I mean, I think about every time that something happens in Taiwan and the computer memory prices go up, right?
Right.
Now this is kind of everything. So everybody put their eggs in one basket, and then something happens to that basket. There you go.
And they're
Once
not
the
scrambling
basket
to bring
gets
them
a
back
hole,
here.
you're in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
But my basket is on fire. I don't know what to do about this.
Oh, we just came up with the show name. Quick, somebody write that down. My basket is on fire.
Oh, so don't actually hate it isn't going to work. Your basket is on fire.
My basket full of eggs is on fire.
So both Riz and I apparently posted this one. Hasbro is relaunching classic Tiger electronic gaming handhelds.
Okay.
Now I love.
We're back to the retro.
I was just recently watching a video talking about how bad Tiger electronic handhelds were. Now I grew up on Tiger electronic handhelds. I got a pinball game and a Terminator game and one of the Konami ones that was a Ninja Turtles game and stuff like that. I have fond memories of this, but also it was in lieu of getting a Super Nintendo. I realized. So
That was going to be my question. Who needs this?
somebody with the memories, man. My mother would not allow me to get the Double Dragon Tiger electronic game. You know why?
Why?
Because she read a story or heard on the news a story about how 2 kids fought in a playground because of Double Dragon.
As violence.
I have fond memories of the Namco football with the hashes and the zeros.
Oh, it was Mattel. That was
or
Mattel.
the Mattel.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
But
do
I need one today,
those
or am I
already
going to go
came
play
back?
Madden? You know what I mean?
No. I still got one, and I kind of like picking that up every once in a while.
I don't know, man.
So I think the person who's going to use these is the person that hacks it into a Raspberry Pi and puts it up on TV.
Well, is that going to work
in
that
some
way?
way.
Yeah, well,
I have
Okay.
friends who take apart Game Boys. I'm not going to name any names, but I work with I work with somebody. They literally buy old Game Boys and disassemble them and reassemble them.
So they're
and literally, like, that's what I picture this being.
also remember, this isn't like a projected screen. It's an LCD with like stay in place graphics that basically light up depending on where you're at.
Right.
You know, for those not familiar with this, so so they're releasing 4 of these. Re-releasing 4 of these. There's a Transformers Generation 2 game. There's a Little Mermaid coming out again. Shit.
Oh boy.
Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and X-Men Project X.
There's still going to be a way to hack it and make it into something different. You
could
just unscrew the back. And
you could
just
potentially do it. Recreate digitally the background and the LCD, right?
Yeah.
And then just the controls
I
kind
have a
of.
Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, you have.
Why do I need this?
Next, the Nintendo
your
Switch
retro.
will have
Your
Tiger
retro
Electronics
life.
games on it.
Okay, that I could.
Now
I just
he
don't
said,
understand.
I had a Batman based on the
I
movie.
get the whole retro thing,
watch
but
game.
I don't. These were horrible.
I had a Tiger Electronics watch with Batman game on it.
Yeah. And
Yes.
you hate it. Did you love it?
Does this
I
mean that
wore
I'll
it a
be
lot.
able to
You
get my
wore it.
Nokia phone back soon?
You're what?
My Nokia phone back soon with Snake.
It was Snake. Nice.
Well, I mean, it's on the Apple Watch, so I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna come full circle.
Honestly, it's a whole retro thing.
Yes.
These the kids are finding our old gaming systems that are in the attics places.
But this isn't
So-
a gaming system.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, no.
And
I
they're
spent a lot
finding
of
it,
time,
and
a
they're
lot
like,
of card trips
"Oh,
on these
this is
guys.
cool."
Oh.
And they're
Yeah.
gonna replicate it.
I don't know.
Or they're just. Or what's going to happen is these big companies are running out of ideas, and they're just grasping at
We've
straws and
already-
figure like, hey, guess what? The millennials aren't spending money on video games. Guess who is? The Gen Xers and
All of us
later
old dudes.
and earlier boomers. And so what's happening is they're spending the money on the video games where the millennials are not, and so therefore they're appealing to us.
Steve of Old Pittsburgh Sports
I rest my case.
has Contra and Ninja Turtles. Yes, those were the cool ones that when Konami did them because it was a different shape and stuff. But whatever. No,
That's
no.
it, right there.
It's
They're
stuff.
they're appealing to the Gen Xers and the early boomers. That's all there is.
Yeah,
to it.
back in the days, I had a stack of these. I snuck one to school and got like the only time I got grounded was because I snuck one out and then it fell out of my jacket when I got home on the bus and my mom found out. She on tonight? Anyways,
Childhood truth.
Yes. The only time that I recall getting grounded. So, anywho, So that's happening. Have you seen the retro section lately? It's like we are taking. Hey, here's Mortal Kombat 1 or Burger Time in an arcade unit, like 3 inches tall. Or I saw one that you could actually put on your keychain. I'm like, am I playing this? And you look at it. It has Rampage on it. It has a full emulator of this video game in a stand-up arcade hanging on your keychain. What are we doing?
I miss my Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi.
Don't you
That
want-
needs to be on my Apple Watch.
How about
I
in-
want a Tamagotchi on my Apple Watch.
There you go. Oh, there
saying.
has to be some out there.
Maybe.
Right?
I haven't not researched it
I
yet.
feel like there's.
I just
one
want
out
an alert in the middle of my day to tell like that my animal pooped.
there. Well, there was a cat game that we used to play where you get the cats. It was all in Japanese at the time, but they do have an English version now. I forget the name, but we never knew the name of it because it was in Japanese. And you put out food and play things, and you can buy things, and there's just a couple of scenes. Now it has an Apple Watch app where you can pull up on your watch and see the scene to see if any cats have come by.
Wow.
There's your Tamagotchi right there.
I do. I just want an alert that says my cat pooped.
There was no cat cleanup I'm aware of in this game. That's for the sequel.
You could just get a real cat.
I do have a real cat. And I
Okay.
still don't get alerts when it poops. I need that in my litter box.
Yes. Hey,
An automated litter box that alerts
They
your
make
watch
them.
when it's
listen,
full.
you know our trash cans in Pittsburgh have sensors on them?
Yeah.
When they're full, yeah.
Yeah, they've talked about. We had the the controller or something
Yeah.
is on broadcast this week. I just edited it today. And yeah, there's sensors that, so they know if the trash can's 80%, if it's empty, the car is not going to stop to go pick it up.
Nice.
And that saves them a bunch of time because they're not checking for empty trash cans across the city.
So they're only stopping at
The
quote
ones,
unquote
the ones that need
need
service.
it.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
our technology city. Hey, what else is a lot of technology here? Sidekick Media Services, housed in the wonderful Sorgatron Media Studios in Beachview, Pennsylvania. An easy train ride from downtown, just like Amanda just found out today. We do a lot of great things. Let us be a sidekick in your superhero project, helping out a lot of things, filling in the gaps for some people in the last couple of weeks on that needed a podcast producer because theirs was out of town. Helping out with a lot of great projects, filling in doing some event videos, doing some conference videos, and of course we're getting ready to head out there with our friends at SAE for Aero Design in the next couple of weeks, and Baja and all those great things that you guys are wondering where in the country I am if you're following my Instagram. So looking forward to that and working with our great clients out there. If you got something that your next big thing and you need a sidekick for that superhero project, let us know. sidekickmediaservices.com. Okay, guys, what do you want to hit up on the back of the book here, Kraus? I see you got a story here. Oh, we were talking about this before the show.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, let's get into that.
So Phil Spencer put out an article, what you can expect from the next generation of gaming. And, Microsoft came up with their lovely term, teraflop. So the next Xbox is 12 of those
teraflop
units of measure.
12 of those mystery units.
What? So we don't know what a teraflop is.
Well, to put it in perspective, they're saying it's delivering 4 times the processing power of the Xbox One and enabling developers to leverage 12 teraflops of GPU, and that's the graphical processing unit, twice that of the Xbox One X and 8 times the original Xbox One. So it's a much more robust.
It's a lot more. That's all we need to know. It's a lot more.
I had an original Xbox, so I'm thinking I was really blown away by that.
Lovely term, ray tracing.
Times. Yes.
Ray tracing will be there.
I've seen ray tracing on Quake 2. It's amazing. Amanda, when they announced the new specs for an iPhone, and you get that chart about how much more powerful the one is from the before.
Yeah, which is always interesting because I remember the one from the 11 because it was the 11 and then the 10 was this much shorter and then the 8 was this much shorter. So
do you really I don't know what they say some kind of figure in there,
some unit
or
of
they
measure.
just say 8 times faster.
Right, pretty much.
Is such an arbitrary unit.
It's weird.
For its marketing speak,
it's
right?
Weird.
It's everybody does this, and this is how Xbox does theirs.
I just like that they named it something like teraflop.
Yeah, right.
I want that on a T-shirt.
But then they talk about
Have
there's
you
going
met
to
my teraflop?
the SSD storage, quick resume, things like that, HDMI 2.1, all that good stuff. All the stuff we're kind of expecting. So I have to give, I think it's Gamertag Radio. It's another podcast that I listen to. And they were having an interesting discussion about the whole, who's going to lead the next generation. Because, everybody's worried about who's going to win. And I think it's interesting. The concept they brought up was, okay, so I believe somebody put out an article, and I don't remember who it was, but they were saying that all the components for the next PlayStation were going to cost, because of what's going on in China and everything with memory and things like that, that they were looking at $450 per box. That's just hardware cost. So they're assuming that the next PlayStation will come in at $500. They expect Microsoft to...
Xbox One was $500 when it launched with a Kinect.
So if that's their hardware cost, so they're only making a profit margin of $100 a unit?
But remember, in the video game world,
$100.
You don't make money on hardware.
Make it on
No.
the software.
You make
Yes.
all the money software and accessories.
And
When
accessories.
to the point where a family that works at Walmart, and I believe when they get a console, it's not. I don't think they get as big of a discount because of that margin. Like even I don't think the store gets a lot of margin on it either. So
Yeah. Well, and in fact, it's a story that's been going on for years. The original Xbox 360, Microsoft sold at a loss.
I thought it was the
Yeah, I
original.
was gonna say I purchased mine for like $350.
Right.
Yeah. I thought the original Xbox.
And I had
Or
the
the
Elite.
original, I'm sorry, the original OG Xbox. When
Probably
they
the
got
360 as
into
well.
gaming, Microsoft actually sold that console at like they lost $100 or $150
It was
per unit.
a 600 megahertz PC.
See, right.
In what 2002?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
It
remember.
was after Dreamcast.
But
Well, I
they
thought
literally sold it at a loss to get
Yeah.
into the gaming market.
Sony is not equipped to do that.
Right.
Because they don't have as many.
Right.
They don't have.
They don't
like-
have as many teraflops.
They don't have as many teraflops of bankroll
Yeah.
to support a play like that.
But,
I think.
again, so Gamertag Radio speculated because I don't know. Do you know what Game Pass is?
Yes.
Okay, so Xbox has this feature called Game Pass,
Right.
and so they speculated. So if Xbox releases their next console at $50 cheaper, and then says, "Oh, and by the way, when you buy this console, you are going to get 3, 6, 9, 12, whatever that number might be, of Game Pass included."
Like months?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Would that be the dagger
Yes.
in Sony's heart?
Yes.
Because then literally, because don't forget, with Game Pass, every first-party game that is released goes directly to Game Pass. So you're saying I spend $450 for this next console, and for the next year, every single first-party release game I get included in that cost. So, like I said, it's all speculation. We don't know if it's actually going to happen or anything. I just think it's an interesting conversation.
And I do
to have.
wonder if Sony would also do a loss leader on that on their side, even just to play ball and give you a few months because they have a similar thing with PlayStation
They do have
Plus.
a service,
Yes.
but don't forget too, the Xbox One X. They're saying backwards compatibility continues. So on the Xbox right now, you take a 360 game and shove it to if it's backwards compatible, it'll play.
I'm wondering. I wonder
And
if they'll-
that's going to continue.
And I wonder if they'll open that up even more.
Right.
Instead of because it's a per game kind of patch. I
Yes,
guess.
yeah, 'cause it is some
Because
type of
I
patch.
was trying to pull up my old Assassin's Creed games. You put them in if they're compatible. You don't install from the disc.
No,
it downloads,
it downloads
a
it.
special version
Yeah.
for the Xbox One of your game.
Yeah, you just put the disc in to prove that you
Yes.
quote unquote own the game.
Yes. So if we're doing that not individually and just building into the console from the start, because Xbox did not do that with the One. If they go from the start and say, hey, we just can recognize Xbox 360 and original Xbox games, now your stack of games that are I put aside because they're not on my 360 or my Xbox One can all play.
Right.
Potentially.
Potentially.
But at least the ones in the store now, you will be able to play.
Right.
I just also wonder what's going to be the tech downfall of it. So, like, we didn't have the red ring of death on Xbox until like a
No.
year in.
Xbox just misread
So-
their audience and said that everybody needs to be online all the time, or they might lose their copy of Assassin's Creed, or that they did a big play for TV instead of video games.
Right.
Right.
That and they made
Well,
you
they
get
were trying to
and
make
they-
it an entertainment
and they made you get a
console.
connect with every console. That's what killed it. That's what killed it.
I just feel like every time that there's like these video game wars that come out in like October, November, right in time for Christmas, right?
Right.
That
Yeah.
usually
Award Christmas
come-
time. Yeah.
Usually by February we hear about their major hardware failure.
Yeah, there's usually a
Like,
little something, but
of something.
I don't think anything has been as bad as the Red Ring of Death.
No,
I don't
yeah.
think nothing.
No,
Yeah,
no.
no.
It was
I mean,
bad.
I eventually suffered the
listen,
red ring of
as
death. It
somebody
took
who
4
was-
years, but I had the
I
red
was
ring of death.
victimized by the Red Ring of Death.
Are you recovered, Sorg?
I saw some therapy for this.
Okay.
I think I did have the red ring around when I had my depression too, so it actually could have been connected.
I'm just shocked I had it 4 years later. Like I had it.
Mine lasted.
Year. Like my Xbox lasted for a while.
Mine lasted 2, I think. Because I was looking through something because I swore I bought. Listen, I thought I bought the Scott Pilgrim versus the World video game, and it says that I just have a trial when I went back to download, so I'm trying to find a receipt for it. But I did find my send in your Xbox to get replaced situation.
Nice.
So there was that. And now I have two.
And another thing too, what I think is kind of interesting, what Microsoft is doing with this next version of the console is, they're really, because like Microsoft as a whole, as a company, if you've noticed recently, they don't care where you are or what you're doing, just so long as you're using Microsoft applications. They're good with it. It's a completely role reversal for them, because before it was, you want the best? Yeah, you can use Office on your Android device, or you can use Office on your iPhone, but the best place to get it is on a Windows PC.
Yeah.
They've dropped all that stuff now.
Yeah.
They don't really care what device you're using, just so long as you're using their stuff. And it really seems like with this next generation, the same thing's going to happen for video games. They don't care where you're playing the video games, just so long as you're playing.
And even most of it's going to be on the cloud too.
Exactly.
So I think it's just going to be your Xbox is going to be, that's the thing you have if you don't want to depend on the internet.
Yep.
Can't depend on the internet because of where you're at, or
you just don't have the technology,
or it's your high-end thing when like, hey, we need a bunch of consoles so we can play Rocket League on Twitch.
Right.
Like your LFG is going to have a bunch of them because they're doing high-end stuff with it. By the way, shout out, looking for group. I had my 2 TV situation I talked about off air while I was cleaning the other day through XFL on one to see what that was about, and just channel surfed on Twitch on Sunday on the other, testing out my old original Fire Stick, by the way, Amazon Fire TV stick, which works great. Until it didn't. But I flipped through and happened to come across our friends looking for group over in Brookline. Sorry, doing a Rocket League live stream, and it was fantastic because I was having trouble finding something I could tolerate. Because some stuff on Twitch, I don't know if you flip through. It's rough sometimes.
Yes.
And then they were doing a great like competition. It looked like a full and we work with these. They do a lot of the big stuff for the competitions over at Replay FX and everything. By the way, I got a preview of the stage a couple weeks ago. Wow, this is gonna be fun. So
this will be there. I go then.
Well, yeah. You haven't been?
Not yet.
Hey, wait,
I've never been.
I got a little bit of quick housekeeping. First of all, because Steve was asking about, what about people like me with trash cans? I forget to bring out my trash can. No, we're talking about the city trash cans, like the municipal ones, like in front of the IGAs and on the sidewalks and stuff like that. Not yours.
The ones downtown. Yeah.
Not yours.
Yeah.
Well, there's one across the street because they speed up to it every night when I come out after podcast night. I'm like, oh, hi, guys. And the other thing, Dave Potter shared this because Amanda, you were asking about this situation. How about your connected litter box? It
there
is
you go.
For litter-robot.com.
Only $500.
$500 is a Litter Robot 3 Connect.
A $500 cat toilet. Wow.
The highest rated Wi-Fi enabled automatic self-cleaning litter box for cats. I'm glad we had to clarify that. Don't use it with your alligator. Never scoop cat litter again while giving Kitty a clean bed for litter for each use. Litter Robot comes with a 90-day money. I don't know why I'm reading their copy, but it's great.
My question is, what happens when you get drunk and pee in it?
Whoa.
We know that happens.
You get that drunk?
Houses.
Let's send them you know what? Let's tweet them and ask. Let's find out their Twitter account. I'm going to make a note here since I have no producer tonight. Tweets.
Wow.
Litter
That's a whole other level of drunk. I'm sorry. But
I've had friends that did that. Not saying it happened in my house, but I've seen it.
For $500, never to have to touch
the
litter
opening
again.
is so small, though. I don't get why the opening is so small. Cats, don't want to be in confined areas like that. That's what the only thing.
Look, that cat is having a good time.
My cat.
Was
My
that,
cat would
is
be
that
scared.
cat talking to God? What is happening
The
here?
cat's like, thank you, God, for my $500 litter box.
Yes, yes.
My parents love me so
My-
much.
Oh God, there's a video.
Yeah, there's video. Oh, we're zooming in. Okay, it's just the
Oh,
buttons.
Okay.
It's just the
Oh,
buttons.
Look,
Wait,
there's the
is
yellow
that,
poop.
Wait, is that what it looks like? That's not what the poop
Oh my
looks
God.
like.
So it turns, then the poop gets discarded.
Okay.
And then
Because it looks like a giant
Wow.
egg
It
on a
turns
swivel.
back, and then
Wow.
the litter's there.
Wow.
Oh, and you just pull the drawer out, and that's where you pull. Okay.
Oh, there's testimonials.
For $500
man,
it
this is
could
gonna be
be
a whole nother
yours.
show, guys. We only have a couple minutes before we're not Instagram worthy anymore. So we have to stay under an hour so we can post on Instagram for that thing going on.
Oh.
Amanda and Sissy, what's going on, real quick?
Bold Pittsburgh everywhere.
There you
Bold
go.
Pittsburgh. Just
Crazy Kraus.
I just go to work every day and come home and do it all over again.
Play my apple things.
Yeah, that's right.
Apple the apple.
Thank you guys so much. Again, please go check out everything at awesomecast.com. Find all the links to get wherever you need for us and become part of that conversation on Twitter and over on the AwesomeCast Facebook group. Thank you guys. We'll see you guys next time. You've been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. Have an awesome week. Mayhem out. All right.
Steve said his tax refund just got spent on our litter box.
You better take.
No.
You better.
That's why
There
I
better
have to
be
go back to
videos
work.
of this thing.
Seriously, though?
Like it's moving.